Hi everybody and welcome to the Mental Toughness and Body Show. My name's Rob Evans and I'm your weight loss coach, health strategist and internationally published author, helping take you from where you are right now to being unstoppable. And today's a really special day. It's the 13th birthday of my youngest daughter. And we had a couple of days ago, 4 days ago in fact, 3 days ago, we had my eldest daughter's birthday. And then 4 days before that, we had my birthday. So we've got 3 Leos all within 1 week of each other. And guess what? We all think we're right and we're all hard-headed, just like a typical Leo is. And today it got me thinking about how can I make a difference to the girls' life? Now that they're getting older, and how can I have a bigger impact on their lives? And what would be really meaningful for them. So at each birthday, I've recorded a little video for each of them that I've said, hold on to this, because do you know how special would it be if I could look back at videos that my parents had recorded for me when I was that age? I mean, the technology Mum and Dad didn't have the money to buy a video camera or a film. I think it was film back then in the 60s. So we didn't have those memories. And I said to the kids, you can have this digitally, you can have it forever. And one day you might look back at it and say, wow, this is what Dad said to me. And, I either followed what he said or I didn't, or this is what it means, but at least they can still see me and reflect on it. And it got me thinking today. I put a Facebook post up and I'd love to get all your feedback as well. I'll tell you what it is in a second, but I was thinking about how can I have a greater impact. And I've been asking all my clients today. It was actually special. Olivia, during a homeschooling PE, physical education session today, I said to her, why don't you come and join our group class? So she did that, and it's an all ladies class. And I went around the room and asked each of the ladies virtually, I said, okay, tell me what your number one tip is in life for Olivia. As a woman, one woman to a developing woman, what can you tell her? And then out of that, I thought, you know what, why don't I put it out to my broader community? So this is where you can get involved. So if you go to my Rob Evans, it's on all of my Facebook pages, but if you go to the Rob Evans one, you'll see there that I've posed the question and said, look, I need the help of all global women. I mean, men can hop in there too if you want to, but I want you to tell me what's your number one tip that you would give if you were looking at yourself, having all the knowledge that you have right now in life. What would you tell yourself, the 13 or 15-year-old version of yourself, to help take you further than where you are right now, to help you be happy, successful? What would you tell yourself? And what I'm going to do is compile them all in a document, and I'll put your name next to each one of them, and I'm going to distribute it. So I'll put it back online so everybody can have access to it. And I'll make it all pretty, put some pictures in there and stuff, and make it a really aspirational document for other girls. And I'm going to give it to the girls as my sort of post-birthday present to them. And so that got me thinking about today, about empowering aspirational girls. And I use the word aspirational because I love what Frank McKinney says. So anyone listening to this probably is aware who Frank McKinney is. He's a real estate artist, brilliant guy. Have a look at his websites, the properties, the detail that he goes to in creating these things and giving a massive wow factors is really special. And he talks about motivation and inspiration, and then talks about aspiration. And he says aspiration is what lasts forever. Inspiration can kind of wash off like a sunburn kind of thing. It just wears off. But aspiration will last because we're aspiring to be like something really, really big. And so I thought, that's really appropriate, because what I want to do is I want to empower my girls to be aspirational. And so I've come up with 5 things that I believe really help create an aspirational person. And in this context, I'm talking about girls because I wanted to theme it for my girls and their birthdays this week. But you can apply that to boys. You can apply it to men and women as well. So in no particular order, the first one that I've identified is about growing yourself through reading. This is the one tip that I give my girls. I talk about it a bit through these podcasts because I want people to really get it. Because I said to my 13-year-old today, I said, if you can really grasp reading self-improvement books or areas where you really want to grow faster, and I gave her a couple of titles. I said, if you get this now, then I said, you have the potential to be 27 years ahead of me. If you keep this up and you read a few books a year like this, you'll be so far ahead of me. If you read them, absorb them, I'll discuss them with you, and you could be so much further ahead than I am. Because I didn't get it until I was 40. And now it's going to be work because my eldest one, she's not into reading at all, but I keep talking about it and keep talking about it. And it was funny, she just did a piece of homework today and she said, Dad, they said about one of the good things to do for yourself is to be reading. I said, see, it's not just me. So that's number one. Number two is about building a positive self-image. This is really hard. I mean, there is so much pressure. And now this is particularly relevant for girls, but boys as well. But there seems to be more pressure on girls that they put on themselves or their friends about that self-image that they have, whether it's normally it's around the way that they look, their hair, their face, their skin, acne and so forth as they're going through puberty, their size, whether they've got lumps and bumps in areas where they don't want. It's really a lot of pressure now. And like I was talking in my other podcast, my Rob Evans 365 podcast just a few days ago about Instagram and the trash that's on there. And it's disgusting what's on there. And it's no wonder that young girls are looking at these images and think, man, I need to be like that. And then that creates some problems. And a bunch of these photos could be photoshopped and they're filtered and all kinds of things. But it creates this image for people that, man, I need to be like that. But it's not, it's not healthy. Number three, I believe developing a continuous improvement mindset around your health and fitness. I mean, health and fitness is such a key part of my life. It should be fundamental, foundational for every person because it's so powerful. It has an impact on your energy levels. It has an impact on your outputs. It has an impact on how long you're going to live. It has an impact on whether you're in pain or you're not in pain. How good you feel about yourself, very closely linked to your self-image. Because if you're doing things for yourself, you're exercising, you may not be in exactly the shape that you want to be, but because you are exercising, you're working towards something. You're working towards looking after yourself, and that's a really important part of the process of life and looking after yourself. So that's my third one, continuous improvement in your health and fitness. The fourth one is about building your self-esteem. Okay, that's really important as well because self-belief. Because when I was young, I was determined to do things. And that came from within me. I just really wanted it so badly. And I had somebody that was telling me that, you know what, you can do this. And sometimes you need that. But who needs to be the biggest champion that we have? And that's ourselves. And that's having this belief that it doesn't matter what it is, we can do it. Which kind of leads on into my next point. But you've got to believe in your own abilities. I've got one daughter that's my eldest one, she's very confident, very strong. She's very clever at most things that all things that she puts her hand to. She's just naturally clever and gifted. She's able to adapt and do things quite easily. So is my youngest one, but she's much harder on herself, and because she's comparing herself to her sister, which in some ways can be good for her because it maybe force her to raise her standards. But I have to keep reminding her that her sister's got 2 years more practice in these things than she does. So don't be too hard on yourself. But will have this, this mindset that will come over her sometimes where she says, oh, I can't do that, I can't do that. And I'll say, do you know what? You can. You've just got to get started and do it. And I think it's really important to keep encouraging that in our children, because all it takes is someone to say, oh, you can't do that, you're stupid, you're an idiot, whatever, and it completely knocks someone's confidence. And they say, do you know what, I don't want to do that again, because that hurt too much when somebody said that. So we've got to nurture this. And even from kids to adults, we have to do this in ourselves too. You have to believe that you can do things. You have to have the confidence in your own abilities. And that often, when it comes to us making the decision to do that, we often don't do it because of what's happened in our childhood. And then this building your self-belief heads into number 5, and that is about believing that you can do anything. So don't let people tell you that you can't do things. If you really want something, no matter how hard it is, believe that you can do it. Like when I was a child, I was really bad at English, and I would never have dreamt that I could write a book when I was a kid. But then when I got to adulthood, none of that mattered. And I said, you know what, I really want to do this. And I think when you have that mindset that you can do anything, then nothing will stop you, because you will just keep doing it no matter what, because you believe so strongly in it and you want it so badly. So they're my 5 things for helping empowering aspirational girls, but it could be boys, it could be male or female adults. What I would love you to do is go to my Rob Evans Facebook page, find the post that I've written and add to it. Add what your comment would be. What would you tell your 13, 14, 15-year-old female self? What are the key things or the key one tip that you would give somebody to get them to move through their life, be successful, be happy? What's your one tip? There's already some great ones there. My clients this morning came up with some beautiful ones. And I would love to be able to have more of an inspirational impact on our kids, because our kids are our future. And we're going through a really tough time with COVID and everything right now, but we can change the world. Our kids can change the world. They can be completely shattered by this right now, but we need to nurture them and love them and support them so that they can grow into the amazing people that they will be. So if you want to find out how you can work with me in more detail, then what you can do is go to thementaltoughnessandbodyshow.com, opt in for a free consultation at the bottom of the page, and I would love to connect with you and start making you unstoppable. See you tomorrow.